What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'll be talking about 6 tips that will help you get into nursing school. If you're interested in watching, then go ahead and stay tuned. Alright, we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna make this one fast. So tip number 1, identify key things that can make you stand out amongst all other applicants. For me specifically, it was my experience and my involvement on campus. I was actively involved in many clubs, and I taught a FIG class for first year programs that was mentoring first year students. Regarding experience, I had a lot of experience in the healthcare field. I did a lot of volunteer work. I work as a patient service coordinator. I worked as a CNA, and I've done a couple other things that have made me stand out experience-wise. So if you are similar to that, make sure that if you have a resume portion of your application, which my application did, that you insert that there. Don't forget those key things. Alright, tip number 2. So it is important to remember that typically you are talking to nurses and community members on the admission board. It's important to not use words that are out of context, words that you don't know, or words that just don't fit in a specific sentence because you're trying to make yourself sound good. It's really important to say precise, straight to the point, and don't add anything additional that is unnecessary, because they will be able to read through that and understand that you don't know what you're trying to say. So make sure that when you're saying something, you're not using anything out of context, and you're not using words that are too big, because they won't like that. And with this, it's important to remember that they have so many applications to read besides yours. So staying straight to the point is really important, because they can get bored very easily from resumes, and they will just move on to the next one before you even have the opportunity to get what you want to say out. So straight to the point. Alright, tip number 3. This one's really important. Be you. It is so important that you are yourself in this paper. Don't try to be someone you're not. Be genuine in the person that you are. If you are saying things that are not meaningful to you, but you're only trying to sound good, or you're lying to make yourself sound better for your application, or you're just moving out of context of who you are as an individual, they will be able to read that through the paper. So make sure that you're just being you. Be genuine. You are a unique individual, and that is something important to remember while doing your application, is that everyone is different, and we're just trying to make you stand out amongst all other applicants. Tip number 4, be confident. That is so important, to be confident. Believe it or not, people can read it through your paper if you have confidence. So if you can, make your essay smile through the paper. That's a huge one. Just smile through the paper. Make sure that you are passionate about exactly what you're talking about, or exactly the topic that you're covering. Tip number 5, and this one's really important. Discuss your hardships, but do not create a pity party. By this, I mean you want to discuss any hardship that you've gone through, but you don't want it to be that you want the admission panel or the admission board to feel bad for you. You want them to be able to see that you've gone through this hardship, but you've made it through, you've made sacrifices, and you are where you are today because you made changes, you've improved from that hardship, and you were able to find what was targeting you and making that situation difficult. I have a list of things that might help you with this process. So the admission panel wants to see what you have had to overcome. So what did you do to overcome this situation, and what task or what change did you have to make in your regular routine to overcome this situation? And how has this situation molded you into the future nurse that you will be one day? So for example, I think I talked about how I struggled in chemistry, and I talked about how I utilized resources on campus. I stayed after hours, talked to professors, took the time to understand that I was going through a hard time with my chem series and needed help. By doing so, that helped me improve my grades. So every quarter thereafter, the first quarter where I struggled, my grades improved. Now, I'm not saying that they were the best, and I can definitely talk about that in another video, but what I am saying is that I made improvement every single quarter by doing these specific steps. Now, from this situation where I was having a hard time in these classes, I was able to mentor other students. So for my first year students, I gave them tips. I let them know about the resources right off the bat, and I helped them understand that there is tutors and that it's okay to get help. Now, moving forward from that and how that has molded me into a future nurse is understanding that my job is not completely clinically based. My job is not only to treat my patient, diagnose, that kind of thing, find the situation, whatever's hurting, and make sure it's not hurting anymore. I need to reach beyond my job. I need to make sure that my patient is safe at home, that my patient has the resources that they need to connect with the people that they need to connect with in order to make sure that they are safe beyond their physical care. So that's kind of the context that I used it in, and I hope that helps. All right, tip number 6. So this is big. Do it from the heart. And what I mean by when I say that is pour your heart into your application. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small to be talked about. If you feel like something is a representation of who you are as an individual, put that in there. Make sure you let them know. Make sure that you showed them that you've worked your butt off for this and you really want this. The biggest question is, why do you want to become a nurse? Why? And what can you do to change the patient interaction? Alright guys, that's the end of the video. I really hope that these 6 tips will help you in applying to nursing school. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below in the question section. And even if it's out of my field, I am a huge networker, so I promise that I can find someone who will be able to answer that question for you. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe. Turn on your post notifications for every single time I upload. And until next time, future nurses, I'll see you guys soon.